Warning, personal opinions, satirical comedy, and spoilers.
Leave this place! Leave this place!
Hiya, Toonies. I'm WHYBOY, and this is NERO.
I don't want to do Scooby-Tober. I know we talked about it. It was going to be like a great big deal. We were going to do 31 videos, one for each day of October, and it's going to be great. It was going to be awesome. Watching this, I don't want to do it anymore.
Boo Brothers.
Oh.
Boo Brothers is not very good. I know this is a nostalgic fan favorite for a lot of fans out there. It's just not good. It's so boring, dull, and just convoluted and all over the place.
The plot is virtually non-existent. The idea that... So Shaggy has a nondescript uncle. This will be a thing which will happen with the Scooby-Doo cast from now till the end of time, where they have nondescript family members to tie into something for events to occur. I guess they all come from a family of MacGuffins. In this case, Shaggy has an uncle, Colonel Beauregard, which was a horrible, racist Confederate soldier, or we're assuming. And Colonel Beauregard died, and then he left his entire country estate and southern plantation to Shaggy. Shaggy arrives, and then Shaggy is forced to solve clues to get the family fortune.
So he, Scooby, and Scrappy-Doo are just going around the plantation trying to solve the riddles. But then you got a gorilla, you got Hicks, you got the sheriff, you got all sorts of manners of ghosts, including, but only minimally, the Boo Brothers.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong, WHYBOY.
What am I wrong about?
They didn't do real ghosts until Zombie Island.
Because this time, the monsters are real.
You are very salty about that, aren't you?
Yes! That was the marketing! This thing is filled with ghosts! Ghosts out in the wazoo, out the wazoo, every kind!
But do we want to remember these ghosts? Do we really want to remember Freako, Miko, and Shriko?
Is that what they're called?
They are so non-existent in the movie, I keep forgetting their name.
I know that they're pretty much just the Three Stooges. I still stand to reason, because this film dropped in 87, and Ghostbusters dropped out in 84, that I have no evidence to confirm this whatsoever in any capacity, but I honestly believe that this was intended for the sole purpose to be Scooby-Doo meets the Ghostbusters. It fell through somehow behind screen doors. We never heard about the fallout, so the end result was Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers.
It's not actually that, because that is a very good stab at it, but this was actually part of a syndicated for TV series back in the day of all the Hanna-Barbera properties called the Superstars 10, where Scooby, Jetsons, Flintstone, Top Cat, Huckleberry Hound, and all that, they all get 10 movies and all that. They're all syndicated for TV to basically, celebrate them and such. Yeah, they were all released between 1987 and 1988, and it just, featured all the characters and such. But Scooby's the one that basically had predominantly the most of them, rivaling Yogi Bear, where it had Boo Brothers, then Ghoul School, then Reluctant Werewolf.
Be honest with me. Where does this fall for you? I think this sucks. Somehow it simultaneously has too many things happening and not enough things happening.
I think I always just stated it as just like I always have. It's a terrible Scooby-Doo movie. It really is. As he said, it's very bloated and such because it has...
Is it even a good comedy? Is it even a good adventure Scooby-Doo style movie?
No, not really, because it's just so all over the place. It doesn't really have any sort of A or B plots that really just follow through on anything. Because as we just listed before, there's an escaped gorilla on the loose, the Hicks going after Shaggy because one of them wants to kiss him, one other one wants to shoot him in the face. Then we have the sheriff running around doing all sorts of things. We have the hunchback guy going, and just all these things are happening one after the other, and that's really the case of it. It's one after the other. They don't really intersect, only in ways where it's just be like, oh, we got a plot, let's just put it away now. Oh, we got a plot, let's put it away now. Oh, we got to wrap up a plot, it's done now.
Yeah, well, at the hour and 10-minute mark, we noticed where it was like, oh, Start tying the threads, start tying everything together, try to make it make sense. Because it feels so convoluted by the end to be like, the sheriff was behind it all.
Yeah, when really only clues just pertaining to the sheriff only appeared an hour into the movie and afterwards.
And they're very easily overlooked. One of them is very casual.
Dang, damn it, where the blazes are you, Rufus? Who wants to know? You a boss to me, that's what...
The real sheriff would know that, but the fake sheriff wouldn't. But because we were never given any indication that the fake sheriff has a twin mustachioed brother, you never put that together. Who cares? Get this kids' movies out. It's the 80s. No one cares about kids' intellect for film.
You don't care about kids' intellect because you gotta explain everything. Because we can put all the plot B stuff to the side and all that because basically the movie already does that anyways. The plot A stuff is Boo Brothers and the mystery, solving the riddles and all that sort of stuff. And the riddle solving is just terribly boring. Whereas just, let me read a riddle. Okay, got the riddle. In the place, Scrappy then comes up to be like, let me explain the riddle very slowly for the audience.
The chimney! It was a broken piano key. The grandfather clock.
Each and every single time. No deviation or anything like that. It sucks away all the fun of the actual mystery of it. Sucks the fun away of the adventure and everything. Like, how am I supposed to enjoy anything when just the story just sort of like bumbles into the next part?
To me, the thing that annoys me about the Scrappy-Doo stuff, it feels like watching like Dora the Explorer. You know those educational shows where it's like, that's fine because it's like educational for like preschoolers?
I'm not saying this is for like big men and all that. It feels just so stilted in its delivery. And it also leads into the problem with like these sort of Scooby movies and such, where it is just Scooby and Shaggy on an adventure, because then the writers have to basically squish all the other aspects of the rest of the Mystery Inc. that are missing into the remaining characters. And all the mystery solving and such all went into Scrappy.
Because we don't have Velma to be the brainy one, we have to give that to somebody. Well, you can't give it to Shaggy and Scooby, you know, they're lovable and doofy, so you have to give it to Scrappy. So Shaggy and Scooby are still afraid of ghosts. We'll keep that portion, but then we have a problem, because there needs to be the people where, like Freddy back in like the 60s would be like, come on guys. But now Shaggy fills that role, which doesn't work because Shaggy's a coward. So Shaggy telling Scooby where it's like,
Who's that? The monster?
No, it's just the sheriff. Come on, Scoob, there's no monster.
Oh, I don't wanna.
You're such a wimp.
you believe in ghosts too?
Yeah, then the danger proneness basically just it's added on top of Shaggy and Scooby, where they basically just get constantly thrown into shenanigans, and Scrappy gets nothing happening to him basically, except for one time he just gets basically just taken away to another room.
That's the problem, is like, I think Boo Brothers as a whole fundamentally is a great example of why the angle, the dichotomy of the Mystery Inc. group is so important to making a successful Scooby-Doo anything, show, movie, because you need that interaction. You need that interaction to bounce off of these 5 different characters, because once you get rid of, you know, the 5-man team dynamic, well, then you have to constrict it, and then you get conflicting things where it's like, again, Shaggy's a coward. Shaggy tells Scooby that it's ridiculous to, like, believe in ghosts. Well, that fundamentally doesn't work. The trap mechanics were gone in this movie. They managed to succeed at things because the movie needs them to succeed at things. So, like, when they need to capture the ghost at the end of the movie, it's a good thing that he himself pulled a lever that covered him in gold so he couldn't move.
Yeah, or he was gonna blast him right in the face.
Yeah, Zombie Island is the dark one, but like this one is hilariously has a amazing amount of like, we're trying to flat out murder like Shaggy and Scooby and Scrappy during the confines of this.
Yeah, there's a lot of shooting at them going on.
A lot of shooting.
Probably one of the main things that I find really off-putting about this movie is just the fact that it meets the Boo Brothers. And I'm gonna put the number of how long Boo Brothers were in this movie on screen right now. They are not in the movie at all, really.
How many times have you coincided with us that benefited us narratively?
I can only think of 2.
What are your 2?
Like at the end of the movie where they picked up a boat, and at one point in the movie where they were like swirling around the Beauregard ghost. And that's it. That actually helped.
They pressed the key on the piano to unlock the door to...
That barely helped, I would say.
Okay, but the way they designed it in the confines of the movie, that is a room that exists that if you enter that secret passageway, unless there's somebody on the other side of the wall to actively press the key to reactivate the wall to move, you're just going to be trapped inside that wall, which leads me to believe that that's how Shaggy's uncle died. He went into what I assume is his, like, Civil War master room, and he died back there.
But he should have just went to the Civil War cave that's below the house.
The Civil War cave with the Civil War steamroller?
Yeah, Civil War steamroller, woohoo!
Look, I was born in 1987. I was too dumb and useless to remember this when I was born. I grew up, and eventually it did become a part of my childhood. It sucked then, too. If you want a better version of the same thing of, like, Shaggy and the gang, well, Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy... interacting with supernatural, it's not the gang, interacting with like supernatural like beings, I'd say Ghoul School is vastly superior.
Yeah, with what we have here, it's just way too convoluted and just slow paced to be really all that engaging in comparison to the other Scooby movies from this era.
It's crap! So, you know, wrapping up, would you say this is like, it's just not good, right? It's just like, it's too messy.
No, it's terrible. Terribly boring, terribly dull, just terribly inconsistent.
It's perfectly, consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, it's a real laugh riot.
Yeah, it's a riot, okay? And the riot's over.